Iranians in occupied Iran are once again staging anti-Islam demonstrations, but you're not going to hear about this in the media because it doesn't fit the narrative. Then again, the Iranian identity is so juxtaposed with the Islamic colonizers that at this point, pretty much saying that you're Iranian is Islamophobic in and of itself. When I tell you that Iranians are done with Islam, I'm not exaggerating. And this didn't happen by coincidence either. This is literally because the terrorist Islamic dictatorship, which has been occupying Iran for the last 47 years, has been actively trying to erase our Iranian identity, heritage, and culture. And Iranians are done with it. They are literally fighting back against Islam by promoting and celebrating their Iranian anti Islam identity. Let me show you what I'm talking about. When the terrorist Islamic dictatorship occupied our country of Iran back in 1979 and imposed Islamic Sharia law on everyone, they also tried to erase all of our Iranian celebrations. We're talking about celebrations that we've literally had for thousands of years, and they are part of our culture. And in fact, because these celebrations are so ingrained in the Iranian cultural identity, all Iranians will celebrate these important days regardless of religion. And yet, when the religion of peace took over our country in 1979 and imposed Islamic Sharia law on everyone, they tried to ban our Iranian culture and our Iranian heritage. For example, Iranians have been celebrating the winter solstice for thousands of years. It's called Yalda Night or Shab Chele. Here's what an Islamic regime imam did and said to Iranians in occupied Iran back in 2021. I'm going to play this video for you and then I will translate what he's saying. And that will give you a little bit of insight into why Iranians are sick and tired and just done with the religion of peace. So the Iranians are just out in the streets and they're playing music. They're not even dancing, right? Like, first of all, dancing is haram. Playing music is haram too, by the way. But, Iranians, they do it anyway because we love music, we love dancing, we love laughter, we love light. It's in our culture. So the Iranians are playing music even though no one's dancing, but everyone's gathered around because they just want to celebrate. They want to celebrate the winter solstice. And then this Islamic regime imam shows up and he starts yelling at them. And he's like, "What are you doing? Pack it up. Don't you know you're in front of a mosque? Have some respect." Let's just continue. And then not only does he say pack it up, he says ashghala. Ashghal means garbage. So he's basically saying pack up this garbage. So this Islamic regime cleric is telling Iranians that their culture, their celebration, their music is garbage. Do you see why Iranians are fed up with Islam? Do you see why Iranians are fed up with the Islamic dictatorship? Why Iranians do not want Sharia law? This is what happens when Sharia law takes over a country. This is what happens when the religion of peace takes control. They try to eradicate your identity, they try to eradicate your religion because if it has nothing to do with Islam, it's considered evil, it's considered haram, and they will try to erase it. This is what I mean when I say that literally just saying you're Iranian is in and of itself considered Islamophobic because the Islamic dictatorship sees the Iranian identity as a threat to its existence because the Iranian identity, the Iranian culture, our Iranian celebrations and heritage have been around for thousands of years before Islam was invented, have been around for thousands of years before Muhammad the warlord and his supporters or whatever conquered Iran, conquered the Persian Empire. But let me tell you something. The Iranian culture, civilization, and heritage will be around for thousands of years after Islam is kicked out of Iran for good once and for all. So, what exactly is Yalda Night, and why are Iranians using it to protest against the Islamic Republic and fight back against Islam? Yalda is an ancient festival in Iran going back to Zoroastrianism that celebrates the winter solstice, also known as the longest night of the year. The winter solstice is a time when friends and family gather together to eat, drink, read poetry, and to celebrate the triumph of light over darkness. We eat fruits and nuts, especially pomegranates and watermelon. That's because the red colors of these fruits represents dawn and the glow of life. We also read poetry, especially from one of our most famous poets, Hafiz. Actually, this book right here, that one right there, that's my Divana Hafiz. Yalda Night is such an important part of the entire human civilization that in 2022, UNESCO added Yalda Night to its list of intangible cultural heritages. And like I showed you in that earlier video with the Islamic imam who's yelling at Iranians for celebrating Yalda, the reason that the Islamic Republic occupying Iran discourages Iranians from celebrating our own cultural traditions and heritage is because they know that the Iranian identity in and of itself is a threat to their Islamic domination over us. And while all the woke leftists in Western Judeo-Christian countries are talking about how diversity is our strength and, whatever nonsense, and just importing people into your countries who are fundamentally incompatible and cannot tolerate or exist with you, Iranians are fighting back. In fact, the very act of celebrating Yalda Night in and of itself is an anti-Islam protest. For example, Iranians are making AI-generated videos of what Yalda Night would have looked like under the Persian Empire when Cyrus the Great was around.
مردمان پارسه، فرارسیدن شب چله، زایش دوباره روشنایی خجسته باد.
Isn't that beautiful? I love that. I'm kind of getting chills. Like it brings a smile to my face, seeing the Persian civilization and the Persian Empire being brought to life. The more you read about the Persian civilization and the Persian Empire, the more you understand why it's considered the cradle of civilization. I mean, just this video, it's just so beautiful. It's people getting together, having a good time. They're celebrating the triumph of light over darkness. This video, by the way, has millions of views and it's going viral amongst Iranians. But here's where things get spicy, and this is what's making the terrorist Islamic dictatorship occupying Iran very nervous. Iranians are sharing an AI-generated video of the previous Shah of Iran, Mohammad Reza Pahlavi, or as we call him, Shahanshah Aryamer. They're sharing a video of him wishing everyone a happy Yalda 2025. This video has blown up and it has gone viral. Like, Iranians cannot get enough of this video. And you know something? Neither can I.
درود بر ملت شریف ایران. هموطنان عزیزم، یلدای 1404 بر شما مبارک. یلداتون مبارک باشه عزیزانم. اینو میزنم به سلامتی همه شما عزیزانم.
جاوید شاه. پاینده ایران جاوید شاه. Yeah, that makes me a little bit emotional, guys. It does. Um, you know, it um but you know something? It's not just AI generated videos. Right now, Iranians in occupied Iran are literally yelling Javid Shah. Javid Shah means long live the king. So the terrorist Islamic Republic organized, like, I don't know, some sort of concert or whatever for Yalda Night, as a way to like appease Iranians, right? Because the Islamic Republic knows that it's very weak. It knows that Iranians are done with ayatollahs, they're done with Islam, they're done with the dictatorship. So, as a way to try to appease Iranians, they're now, holding concerts. Even though 3 years ago I showed you the video of that Islamic imam who was yelling at Iranians. Now, because the Islamic dictatorship is so weak, they're so afraid. They're hosting their own Yalda celebrations. But let me show you how Iranians responded to these concerts that are being put on by the Islamic regime. Did you hear that? They're saying Javid Shah. Javid Shah means long live the king. Iranians in occupied Iran are literally risking their lives going to events organized by the Islamic Republic, and they are yelling, long live the king. Even the person on the stage, you just heard him, the guy speaking on the microphone, was like Javid Shah, right? Iranians in occupied Iran have been sending hundreds of messages to the outside world where they are celebrating Yalda Night, and they have images of the current Shah of Iran in exile, His Royal Highness King Reza Pahlavi II. They have him on their Yalda tables, and they're sharing that message with the world, and they're all saying Javid Shah. But I'll save that video for part 2. So make sure you like and subscribe to get all the updates about how Iranians are protesting against Islam in occupied Iran. And to all the Iranians who are watching my videos, especially from inside of occupied Iran, I just want to say شب یلاتون خجسته باد. نور بر تاریکی پیروز است. ما ایران رو حتما آزاد میکنیم. پاینده ایران و تا ابد و ابد جاوید شاه.
درود بر ملت شریف ایران. هموطنان عزیزم، یلدای 1404 بر شما مبارک. یلداتون مبارک باشه عزیزان. اینو میزنم به سلامتی همه شما عزیزانم.